Marcus owned a veterinarian clinic with 6 vets and 15 supportive staff. He was an awesome boss with an open door policy and generally cared about helping the team succeed. The problem was Marcus couldn't get anything done. In a veterinarian clinic, emergencies don't wait for convenient time. When a dog comes in hit by a car or a cat is having trouble breathing, his team needs Marcus' expertise immediately. And there's no way around it. So every 20 minutes, someone would rush into his office with an urgent case that needed his input. And Marcus would help save the animal's life. But then he'd sit back at his computer and stare at his screen for 10 minutes, trying to remember what he was working on before the interruption. By 2 p.m., Marcus felt like his brain was scrambled eggs and he accomplished maybe 30 minutes of actual focused work despite being busy all day long. Marcus told me he was staying until 9 p.m. every night just to get his own work done. And he was exhausted from constantly having to restart his thinking process. After working together and learning about a simple technique of getting his focus back quickly, Marcus could seamlessly transition back into his work after each emergency. Now he leaves his clinic at 6 p.m. and actually gets more done than he did when he was staying late. If you're experiencing something similar, I'm here to tell you, you do not have to struggle forever. Hey there, I'm Misty Rappaport, and on this episode of the Business Bird Podcast, I'm going to share with you the exact steps of what you can do to have your own transformation. But first, your brain might be quietly draining your bank account and you don't even realize it. Use this quick calculator to figure out what your thinking skills are costing you. Go to lifepicksuniversity.com/calculator.
While you are doing any task, you, without even realizing it, are using your 28 thinking skills. When the thinking skills you need to use are strong, doing the task happens easily. Skills you need to use are weak, doing the task becomes a challenge.
The struggle that Marcus had came from a weak thinking skill of working memory. Memory is your brain's ability to hold and use information you need right now. Think about when a client gives you their credit card number over the phone. People with strong working memory can type in the number without asking for it to be repeated 7 times. Or when you get a 6-digit verification code on your phone and you need to enter it on your computer, you glance at it once and you're remembering it long enough to type it in without constantly having to look back. That is working memory in action, holding onto information just long enough to use it effectively. Marcus struggled because every interruption caused his brain to dump the information he was holding onto. When he was working on the monthly budget review, his working memory needed to keep track of which departments were over budget, what expenses needed approval, and the deadlines for submitting changes. But the moment someone rushed in with an emergency, all that information got pushed out of his working memory. When he came back to his computer, Marcus had to remind his brain what he was working on, reread the emails, recalculate numbers, remembering what decisions he already made. With Marcus, we started by using a specific technique to help him in the moment. Then, during sessions, we improved his working memory. First, I'll share with you this technique so you can start implementing it today, and then I'll give you 4 exercises that you could do at home to help yourself improve working memory. What helped Marcus immediately was a strategy that I call anchoring. It's finding a specific element within the work that reminds your brain of the work you are doing. So if Marcus was reviewing the monthly budget, his anchor may be the final number he's working towards. That mental anchor kept the important information active in his working memory. Then back from his emergency, he'd look for the final number and could immediately continue where he left off with instead of having to look for all the information all over again. Here are 4 ways that you can start building stronger working memory. Number one, it starts with believing it is possible. This is huge. Stop telling yourself you have terrible memory. You don't have to lie to yourself and pretend that you're perfect, but start talking to yourself like improvement is possible. Instead of saying, I never remember anything, try, I'm getting better at holding on to information, or my memory is improving with practice. Marcus was shocked at how much his working memory improved just by expecting it to work instead of assuming it would have failed every single time. Number 2, use more of your senses. The more senses you involve, the better your working memory becomes. On a basic level, saying things out loud is often enough because it adds the auditory element. When the verification code pops up on your phone, don't just look at it. Say out loud 742891. And as you say it out loud, you are using both visual and auditory parts of your brain, making it easier for your brain to remember it. Number 3, give yourself a working memory list. Before you walk into your house or your office, give yourself 3 things you're going to do immediately. Don't write down these 3 things, hold them in your working memory and do them. Once you find yourself having an easy time remembering doing these 3 tasks, then up it to 4, then 5, then 6. And yes, there's going to be distractions, and you're going to come into your house and there's going to be someone that's going to want you. You're going to come to your office and an employee's going to ask you a question. You're going to say good morning to them. And you are still going to hold on to the information of those 3 tasks that you are trying to do. Number 4, do a mental rehearsal before tasks. Before starting any complex tasks, quickly run through what you need to keep track of. So if you're preparing for a proposal, remind yourself, I need to remember the budget limit, the deadline, their specific requirements, and what we discussed in the last meeting. This primes your working memory to hold on the right information while you do the work. Now, you might be thinking your working memory just isn't fixable, especially with the amount of ADHD experts telling us this is something we're just going to have to struggle forever. But really, working memory is a skill. Your brain simply hasn't learned how to use it in a way that works for you. I struggled with this for so long, tried hundreds of different exercises, and none of them helped until I really changed this mindset of that working memory is fixable. And not that I have a bad memory, but actually memory is just a skill. Working memory is your brain's ability to hold on information while you complete a task. Strong working memory means spending less time restarting and more time actually accomplishing things. You don't even realize how much time you save till you improve this thinking skill. Your action step this week is to find an anchor whenever you are interrupted on a task. That way you can just go back to the anchor to get yourself back into the task. Bonus, if you want to also take steps to actually improve your working memory with one of the following. Number 1, talk like memory is possible. Super important that I suggest you start here. Number 2, use more of your senses to remember. Say it out loud, use touch, use smell to help you remember what you're trying to remember. Number 3, give yourself a working memory to-do list before you walk into your door. 3 tasks to do that you're going to do without writing them down. And number 4, mentally rehearse what you're going to do before you begin a task. The most productive people I work with developed strong working memory. Notice I said developed, not born with. It's a worked on skill. When your brain gets better at working memory, interruptions stop derailing your entire day, and you can handle urgent issues while still maintaining momentum on your important work.
That's all for this episode of the Business Brain Podcast. If you enjoyed it, send it to a friend who secretly wants stronger thinking skills too, so together you can grow your businesses with peak brain performance.